December the 10th, 2011, Sofia. Only a day after the historical summit of the European Council in Brussels, the Bulgarian capital was the venue of a prestigious European forum. Bulgaria marked 8 years since the establishment of its Economic and Social Council. The anniversary was held under the heading of 8 years European Model of Civil Dialogue in Bulgaria, and it was attended by all the presidents of the European Economic and Social Committee since 2002, the incumbent president Stefan Nielsen, and the 3 group presidents of the committee. The Bulgarian head of state, MPs, trade unions, employers' organisations and representatives of the civil society attended the event. The hottest topics of Europe's agenda, the social consequences of the unprecedented crisis, fiscal discipline, unemployment, growth and employment, the life of the population and mostly the realisation of the young European citizens were topics of impassioned and in-depth discussions.
On the 10th of December 2003 at exactly 10 a.m. and exactly in this hall, the Bulgarian Economic and Social Council was established and held its first session. We began from scratch, but we were very enthusiastic and fully convinced that we would succeed, and the results were not late to come. On the 5th year since the establishment of this council, Bulgaria was unanimously chosen to chair the network of economic and social councils. On the 8th year since its establishment and at the end of the second mandate of the Bulgarian Council, we can proudly and with enough ground say Bulgaria is the first country of the 12 new EU member states which has set up and successfully developed an Economic and Social Council along the lines of the European Economic and Social Committee.
The authorities in Bulgaria comply with the expert decisions of the Council. Over these 8 years, 55 opinions, analyses of and resolutions on the major problems in this country have been drafted, as well as 1,600 pages on the reforms in all major spheres. These have been reflected in basic documents of the government and parliament. The Economic and Social Council has gained grounds as a major consultative body of the organised civil society and direct participatory democracy. Following a motion of the Council, a new form was introduced in the decision-making process concerning public consultations.
An exceptional success for the outgoing 8 years is the acknowledged principle of work in the Council, the consensus between its members. All acts of the Council drafted so far have been adopted with consensus between its members, and in this way there are a kind of positive synergy between the main structures of the organized civil society.
Despite its size, Bulgaria is a leading country in the EU in at least one thing, in terms of developing the Economic and Social Council. Most of the countries simply renamed their tripartite council. In Bulgaria, a different way was chosen, a separate body, which strengthened its positions as a civil parliament of the country and partner in the strategic decision-making process.
Thank you, friends and colleagues. A big thank you for the fact that we began together. We have walked all the way up to now and have succeeded together. We continue together again in the name of a better and more secure Europe and Bulgaria, for the dignified future of our children. Thank you.
I would say my presence and participation today in this forum is a sign of an assessment, of respect and gratitude for everything the Economic and Social Council has done over these years, for the position it took on the hottest and most important issues facing our society.
The President has divided these 8 years into 2 periods. During the first period, we achieved the biggest results by entering the EU and NATO. In the current period, however, our country is experiencing a serious crisis, which necessitates a full mobilization by everybody.
That is why I am here, because I think the Economic and Social Council plays a major role in this respect, and because here are the people who can form and offer the expertise, and here are the people who realize these life-saving, I would say, decisions for the nation. I have to say, from the very beginning, that the Economic and Social Council was really at the level of the challenges of the decade. It strengthened its grounds, both on the national and international stage, creatively developing the European model of civil dialogue, becoming a paragon for similar structures in our country and Europe as a whole. It was a grounded decision to call the Economic and Social Council a civil parliament. I personally approve of this assessment.
The President recalled that he was the first to approach for opinion the Economic and Social Council, namely on the issues of health insurance. He believes he was given a solid opinion. Besides that, the President also recalled the cooperation on strategic issues, such as the drafting of a Bulgarian version of the Europe 2020 strategy. In his opinion, however, the debate on the latest resolutions of the European Council is lagging behind, resolutions which could be very important for the future development of Europe.
If, metaphorically speaking, the 9th of May 1945 was the political spring of Europe, we should ask ourselves if the 9th of December is the beginning of a heavy political winter. And finally, as a sign of my assessment and gratitude, as an expression of what the Economic and Social Council has done over the years, as an assessment of the tangible contribution for organizing and strengthening the civil dialogue in our country, as well as for the development of major social and economic policies and strategies, I would like to announce that I confer the honorary sign of the Head of State to the Economic and Social Council. Congratulations.
I would like to inform you that when we were planning this event 5 or 6 months ago, it was as if we knew there would be the 9th of December, so that we scheduled the 10th of December for today's ceremony. 45 minutes after today's solemn ceremony, the big debate with the participation of the European presidents and the presidents of the main groups in the committee focused on the organized civil society in response to the challenges facing Europe.
A total of 35 addresses of greeting were sent to the Economic and Social Council on the occasion of its anniversary. The European Commissioner, Kristalina Georgieva, has pointed out the larger importance of these councils. They are to explain to the citizens the necessary and correct, however not always popular, decisions. The Honorary President of the International Association of the Economic and Social Councils and similar institutions and Honorary President of the French Council, Jacques Deman, made a finding that the Bulgarian ESC is an example in many ways, because the main value is in the absolute intellectual autonomy it provides.
And as it should be done at a celebration, the people with special contributions should be distinguished 8 years prior to entering upon the Economic and Social Council in Bulgaria. I have the utmost pleasure to invite Mr. Staffan Nilsson to confer the honorary award for contribution to the development of the organized civil society in Bulgaria. Please, Mr. President.
And Mr. President, you mentioned that perhaps 9th of December could be seen as the beginning of the winter in the European Union. Yes, but after winter there will be spring. And yesterday, between the negotiations in the Council, I had the possibilities to visit when all the Prime Minister signed the protocol with Croatia for their accession 2013. And they will be the 28th number of members in the European Union. And I think this is, even if we face deep crisis, this is also a sign that there is possibilities for the future. So please, let us keep a vision for a good future also of European Union in cooperation with you all. And thank you very much once more for this very nice prize.
A very key factor for the right direction we have chosen and for the strong start of our Council was the Joint Consultative Committee EU-Bulgaria, which worked effectively prior to our EU accession. I can really, and with enough grounds and arguments, say that, owing to the efforts of at least three key personalities in Bulgaria, two of whom are here with us, Božidar Danev and Konstantin Trenchev, and of course Professor Dr. Zhelyasko Christov, who passed away. And on the Belgian part, particularly the efforts of our great friend and colleague Henri Malos. The EU-Bulgaria was really a model of interaction in the pre-accession period, and he laid the foundations of our Economic and Social Council. With big gratitude to what Henri has done and is doing for Bulgaria now, a man whom we deem 50% Bulgarian, I would dare announce something personal, that he has purchased a house in the town of Koprivstica, that he loves Koprivstica and Bulgaria. And that's why I say 50% Bulgarian. I have the big pleasure to announce that the next nomination of the Honorary Award of the Economic and Social Council for the development of the organized civil society is namely Mr. Henri Malos. Mr. Malos, please come and take your honorary award. I will ask Mr. Danev, our first co-chairman of the Joint Consultative Committee EU-Bulgaria, to confer this award.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you very much. It's also part of this whole thing.
It is very nice that I am here for the 8th anniversary of the Economic and Social Council, because I was here 8 years ago to support its establishment. I would like to emphasize how important it is that there is a voice independent of politics, both on the national and European level. The presence of an institution in which this independent voice is heard is part of the European identity. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Henri, the surprises are getting more and more and better. My words were confirmed again. Maybe he is now not 50%, but 99.9% Bulgarian, because he speaks even better than some Bulgarians. I would like to go back to the time when we had just established our Economic and Social Council on the 10th of December 2003. And we were immediately invited by the President of the European Economic and Social Committee, Roger Brish, to a meeting with Dr. Trenchev. We remember this moment only a month after our council was established, the meeting with Roger Brish in Brussels. At this meeting, which was very exciting for us, Roger Brish asked us how he could help. We had no building, we had many problems, but Dr. Trenchev and I shared the vision that we should not share our internal problems with the European President, because that was not important. We told him the most valuable thing you could do would be to come to Bulgaria and meet with the leaders of Bulgaria and explain the truth to them that this council is something needed. That would have a great effect. Roger Brish told me he would come, and a month or two later, without having even visited all old EU member states, he came to Bulgaria. A strong French sensitivity, a strong nobleness, a great man and politician who gladly for us visited Bulgaria again. It is with utmost pleasure to announce that Roger Brish has been conferred with the honorary award for contribution to organized civil society. and I ask his syndicate co-brother, Dr. Konstantin Tranchev, to confer this well-deserved award. Please, Dr. Tranchev.
The creation of the Economic and Social Council in Bulgaria was a logical input in a process that had been going on for years. Being established on the model of the European Economic and Social Committee, this council marks a new concept for the place and role of the organized civil society in East European countries. This should be underlined. An innovator's approach, which I called a kind of a reference. The mutual complementing of the two dialogues and things which have been achieved, but which were not that clear in the context of time. These actions should be specified in other EU member states, not only in East European countries.
He's our friend, I would say, our brother, neighbor, a veritable gratitude, a veritable human feeling, Dimitri, for what you have done so that Bulgaria found its place, even as a new EU member state. In this connection, let me ask Mr. Plamen Dimitrov to confer this well-deserved award to the President Dimitriadis. Please, Mr. Dimitriadis.
Unfortunately, my president, Andrei Malos, covered the knowledge of my non-knowledge of Bulgarian language, but I feel here like at home. Yesterday, someone asked me, how do you feel in Sofia? I said, what Sofia? I'm in Thessaloniki, I'm in my city. Sofia is my motherland. We are in the middle of a crisis. I didn't have the opportunity to read very carefully the conclusions of the summit yesterday. And I don't speak as a Greek, I speak as a European. But these kind of ceremonies prove very carefully and give the intention that Europe exists. We will continue together.
As I said, we started together, we continue together in the name of a better future and a better Europe. Thank you and see you soon.